It's Nolan. Southside. Some more label, going straight from the dirt. Double my grind, just a triple my word. Rockin' the same clothes from the first to the third. Say what you want. Motivated by grace, but I don't like them. It's for the industry and all them haters that comprise it. I own my image and likeness. I'm fighting like Leonidas. To be righteous is key. I had to make my circle tighter, cause they life is the street. I'm from the jungle where you kill what you eat. I love the feast. Taught myself how to cook, it was Franks and butter beans. Hot summers, no treats. Niggas born with no retreat. If they gotta get you, they willing to shoot you right through the priest. That's where I'm raised at. Took day back. Y'all niggas listening to slave rap. Just got my chain back, crafted by Arabs. Wait, I got a blade strapped under the wave cap. My city full of niggas bleeding like a fucking ASAS. So when I say I overcame the odds, I don't pray to God. Watch niggas that was shaving hard, had to take a charge till I came to change the cards. Hey, I ain't got no words for y'all. I don't do the rap beats. I'm trying to get my girl to drop.
But I know it's gonna get better than this, for sure. I don't have everything that I want, but if there's one thing that I know, it's gonna get better than this, for sure.
Hey, I prayed for better days until I finally got them. It's hard to think about tax when you want to flight to Cabo. Checking my bank, it got figures I never seen. Couple years ago, I couldn't spare chain and gear to a fiend. This shit a dream. Became the golden child, but dog, it's still a fight. They don't see the street come with some gripes. They just know the flashing lights, but I've been up for 7 nights. I help so many niggas, they just want me in the room to write. Rappers trying to pick my brain, women trying to touch my chain. I just bought my girl a ring, but y'all need me to entertain. How the fuck can I explain when everybody chasing fame? Niggas down to die for this spot I got, so I can't complain. When my parents need help, I'm hitting they cells. Doing Zoom calls to help artists fend for they sales. They hear my shit on the tube, my songs play on the news. Them royalty checks coming, that's generational
I
wealth,
don't have
nigga.
everything, but I know it's gonna get better than this, for sure. I don't have everything that I want, but if there's
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. I want to go ahead and issue an apology up front. You know, the first couple videos I made about this Diddy situation, I said, man, I hope to be back soon to get off the Diddy thing, talk about lighter subjects. Unfortunately, there's really not too much going on in hip hop right now or in the entertainment industry that's all that interesting right now. Big shout out to Rhapsody for putting out a solid album. Please Don't Cry. I did receive a request to check out or review one of the songs from the album. I may still get around to doing that. Shout out to JD for sending that request through. I want to let you know I did see that. But outside of the good album that Rhapsody did, like, the industry is kind of in shambles. Outside of the Kendrick and Drake battle a couple weeks ago, it's been dry as the fuck. I guess salute to Sweetie for finally putting Nani out. You put it out at the worst possible time. Well, hopefully it's working for you. You know what I'm saying? I think the song actually sounds pretty good, pretty solid, especially coming from her. Where she hasn't had that many great records. So salute to Sweetie. Outside of that, you know, we've really been inundated with this whole Diddy situation over the past few days. It's unfortunately the biggest story in the industry. And, you know, I don't mean biggest in terms of just like the most encouraging to speak about, but it's just kind of the dark cloud over the industry right now, I guess you could say, because everybody's chiming in with an opinion. There's so much stuff that's resurfacing from the past. Diddy even came out this morning, and issued an apology. She didn't, I called this nigga she. He didn't even issue an apology to Cassie personally. He didn't mention her name, not one bit. So I really would like to know who you're apologizing to. Is it your constituents, your business partners, the fans who get to see you for who you are? Are those the people that you're apologizing to? Because the one and only person that matters the most, you didn't even acknowledge. What type of shit is that? We're about to run this nigga's apology real quick. I hate to do it. But, you know, he did come out and at least try to save face or at least acknowledge that it was him. I know there was some people out there that was going to say that nigga was going to try to come out and say it was AI. I'm glad he didn't take that play. But outside of that, man, shit is really looking bad. But let's go ahead and get the show on the road. Also, for those of y'all that put in suggestions for me to look into, we are gonna play some video from Gina Hu or Gina Hu, however you say her name, her last name that is. We are gonna check out what's homeboy's name. Somebody had just suggested watching his video, Jonathan Odie, his 2018 interrogation video talking about Diddy, Rick Ross, and whatnot. We're gonna run that as well. I know people have been the South African dude. I know y'all have been in my chat asking me to look into that. We're gonna run his video, although it is kind of hard for him to understand due to his accent. But hopefully at this point we can kind of get through everything and move forward. Hopefully this week we could get a whole fresh new slate, get some exciting shit going on in hip hop to kind of divert our attention from darkness. That's what I would like. That's what I would hope for. But it could be wishful thinking. All right, let's get into this clown ass nigga though.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, going to rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Yeah, man, that's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut the cheese. It's definitely not Swiss knifing the cheese at all. Okay. Again, you didn't mention Cassie's name not one time. You didn't say to the victim in the video, I apologize. Nothing. You apologized to the people as if, you know, we're owed. I mean, I guess a lot of people felt like we were owed an explanation or an apology or some sort of acknowledgement. But ultimately that wasn't it. I know some people were trying to say that he done made his way to Bali. I've heard that he's actually in his Miami home in that clip, from people that I guess have spent time there in the industry. Nonetheless, I don't think it'll be too long before that nigga get the fuck up out the country though. Hey, you know? But the fact that he came out talking about hitting rock bottom, you was fucked up. What do you mean by that? Are you going to acknowledge that you were on drugs? You talked about going to therapy and specifically rehab. Are you going to acknowledge that you was on some shit? I'm kind of glad you didn't, because we wouldn't want to use that as an excuse for you not being able to control yourself. But what the fuck? Hit rock bottom, dark time. Well, what about all the dark times with Miss Gina here. She's talked about the same stuff in the past happening to her, almost word for word, bar for bar. So what about her? This now brings into question all of his relationships, whether that be Misa Hilton, Kim Porter, hell, even J-Lo in the short amount of time that they were together. Like, what was that really about? You know what I'm saying? Because I believe, wasn't he making her carry his weapon into the club because she was going to be least suspicious out of their entourage? So what's up with you, bruh? And you've been getting away with shit for a long time. And now all of a sudden it's an apology when just a few months ago, it was enough is enough. Let me pull up this shit this nigga said a few months ago because he was trying to make it seem like he was so clean, you know, so pure, and that everybody was just trying to sully his name and make him look bad. So let's get to the shit that you said a few months ago, brother. He came out and said, enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation, and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Sean Diddy Combs. Just a couple days ago, you were just posting talking about the truth will tell everything, and the truth has been told, and you want to sit up here and play in the people's face. Come the fuck on, brother. Talking about he was disgusted when it happened. How disgusted could you have been when it happened? Because for those of us that have seen the clip, you didn't remove yourself from the situation. You continued to antagonize that young woman. You threw her to the ground and proceeded to kick her multiple times. You threw a glass vase at her. I don't even know if the shit hit her or not. But you were disgusted even when you did it. You're disgusted now. You're disgusted that there's a leak in your operation somewhere where this shit is now commonplace. Billions of people in this world, because this is an international issue. This nigga, y'all know how famous Diddy is in real life. He ain't no local joker. So everybody that's consumed his music, partied with this nigga, partied to this nigga, now gets to see what it is. Mr. Billionaire. And had the nerve to try to get these motherfuckers pennies on the dollar at the end of last year in the form of royalties, talking about to accept the royalties, you're going to have to sign an NDA to never speak on my name ever again in life. What type of shit is that? Mr. Disgusted? Mr. I take all accountability? Sounds like you're trying to absolve accountability on their behalf either, so that you could go the rest of your life without nobody else speaking the truth about you. Come the fuck on, bro. You want to issue this old haphazard, half-witted, half-assed apology. It's not accepted, and it's not acceptable in any means, any form. It probably would have done you more favors to not say anything at all. Just disappear. You probably should have joined the SpaceX program. Take your ass on the first flight to the sun, nigga. Anyway, we're gonna keep the show going. As shown in the thumbnail here, we do have Miss Gina here, who told us years ago. I wasn't privy to this story all that much because I think she came out in 2018. At that time, I was fully immersed as a just straight up underground rapper, struggling ass underground rapper. I didn't have a fucking, I didn't care about shit back then. And when I say I didn't care about shit, I mean as far as like keeping up with what was going on in the news, the media, the stories, all of that type of stuff. Like I was like, nigga, I was performing at fucking open mics 3-4 days out the week, still trying to go to work. So I didn't even know who the fuck Tasha K was back then. So this interview has resurfaced. So we're going to play a clip. It's not too long, where she gives details on her accounts, her experience with Diddy. And again, the shit is basically word for word, bar for bar, the same shit that we learned in this Cassie instance. Whether that be from the lawsuit, where she had multiple incidents of this behavior, or even down to the video that we just saw a couple days ago come out, it all is eerily accurate. Y'all give me a second here.
Okay. He had like a mansion party, and we went, but while we were there, I was sitting here, and then Puff, and then Meek, but I was like covered with like a stand or something, like probably says like "Happy Birthday Meek" or something like that, but it's like a little stand that like was covering me, because there was like a lot of cameras and stuff there. So it was like me, Puff, and Meek. Puff had like leaned forward to like talk to somebody, say hi or whatever. And so I turned over to Meek and I said, "Happy birthday." He put his hand out and then he was like, "Thank you." So I reached his hand and shook it. And as I shook Meek's hand, he turned around and saw it and he got so mad.
Wow.
And then we probably like stayed like 20 minutes after that happened. And then when we got in the car, he like grabbed my hair. We were in the one of those Escalade trucks.
Okay.
So I was sitting on this side, he was on the other side, and he like grabbed my hair and like cussed me out for doing that. He was like, "Why the fuck can I cuss?"
Yeah.
Oh, he was like, "Why the fuck you shaking his hand for?" Like just saying stuff
it
like
was
that. I
just
was
like
like
a jealous rage.
Yeah, I was like, I was just saying happy birthday, nothing else. I think he thought I was trying to be sneaky behind his back, because I like reached over when he like leaned forward to talk to somebody else. So he thought I was trying to be sneaky.
And you were how old at this time?
I was 22 probably.
Wow. Okay.
And then he did this. So King Los was sitting in the back.
Okay.
And then when we got to the hotel, it got even worse. And he took one of my heels and tried to throw it at me, and then he like mushed my face and like really hard and made my nose bleed.
Wow.
And the only person that ever
Again, y'all see how eerily similar this is, from the mushing to the throwing of projectiles to the kicking. Like, this is customary shit for this whack ass bitch ass nigga, man. Like, this is terrible. And I just want to say, before I move forward, I know I'm interjecting in my own video. I know this seemed funny as hell, but I just want to say, since the apology, we've seen now Diddy out and about with rapper King Los. Man, I just want to go ahead and express my immense disappointment in King Los, man. You are the weakest link, right?
Are you doing all right, man? Everyone's worried about you. Are you okay? Are you all right, man? Appreciate it, man. I hope you're good, man.
Have a good Sunday.
All right, cheers. Diddy, we're just trying to figure out what's going on, that's all. People just want to know if you feel sorry, if things are gonna, what's going on with that. I'm sorry to bug you. All right.
Love. You have a good day.
All right, you too. You think people will forgive you, Diddy?
Now, I can't hold those accountable for Diddy's actions. None of us can. But the fact that you're seen with this man immediately after, that you're in his circumference, you're in the circle, clearly you're a part of the people that are holding him down in the dark times, as his own quote would state. Like, that speaks volumes to me, especially with the fact that we've seen the video, which means that, Los, you've seen the video, your family's seen the video, and you're basically drawing a line in the sand saying, I'm not going nowhere. We're going to hold him down even through this. Even when you've seen this man, what he did to Cassie, I don't think there's any man that sees that video that is in their right mind that can co-sign and stand beside somebody in that situation. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he continued to attack her relentlessly, kicked her on the ground. You get what I'm saying? Threw a vase at her while she was trying to call security or reinforcements to help her. I don't see how you can support anyone when you see them in that type of state. Like, the shit he was doing in that video is things that most men would never do to another man. You know what I'm saying? Let alone a woman. Like, that shit is crazy. And again, I can't say what Los has done, but I will say, in Gina's video, when she talked about her account with Diddy, who was present? Los was in the back seat. Los was around for that, which would also, Los was around Diddy even before that. He was around with Cassie. I do believe Cassie was actually the one who told Diddy to go back and find Los to bring him back into their circumference so that he can continue being a ghostwriter for him. I understand that this man is your meal ticket, right? But when it comes to public perception in recent years, he's made it seem like, I've gone on and done my own deals. I've gone on and, I got my publishing back and I got this stuff here and I got everything. He kind of publicly distanced himself from Diddy to a certain degree. But as we can see, that was only to tailor an image in the public, not based in reality. So, yeah, it's just really disappointing. He's a super talented lyricist, somebody that a lot of people, even though he's not a celebrity necessarily, a lot of people respect him for his insight, for his quote unquote consciousness. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy who he talks all of this vegan, God level talk and all of this type of stuff, to make it seem like he's this enlightened individual. But then you're supporting that level of darkness. I don't see how you can conscionably do that and walk those same lines. But of course, Los was also affiliated with the internet poacher Brother Polite, who I believe was convicted for grooming a minor and having a allegedly sexual relationship with a minor, which was the daughter of his then, I don't even know if they were legally married, but who he called his wife. So it's like you keep showing up in the circles of some extremely questionable people. Like, so whatever, and I'm seeing people definitely coming down on dude, and I think it's well deserved. I had to insert this into the video because, like I said, I played Gina's account of what happened, and it's like she mentioned Los back then, and it seemed like, okay, maybe he wasn't privy to what's going on. But now in 2024, the first person we see Diddy next to when he's out moving around after this apology is King Mother effing Los. So disappointing. So very disappointing. You know, and some of y'all may not know who he is or give a fuck, and rightfully so at this point. But for people that have been following battle rap, for people that have been following like those underground artists that you would have liked to see have a bigger platform placed on them and you kind of pulled for them, it's like, damn, bruh, you going out extremely sad. Had to put this in the video as an update because it's wild, man. And all of this stuff, it just brings back so much, you know. I had heard through the grapevine over the years that he allegedly attacked or menaced Laurianne Gibson, you know, Miss Boom a Cat, Boom a Boom Cat from the Making the Band series, and she went on to do choreography for Beyonce and himself, Diddy, later in life as well. I didn't know the specifics, but now I see it as clear as day. Back in May of 2007. So this is exactly, what? How many years is that at this point? Shit. 17 years ago? Here's the story. Fans of choreographer Laurianne Gibson on Diddy's Making the Band reality shows can start preparing to kiss those moments goodbye. New York Daily News columnist Ben Whitcomb wrote Friday that Gibson and Diddy had a nasty falling out, during which the choreographer says the rap mogul menaced her with a chair. Sources also tell Whitcomb that Diddy fired her during the incident and at one point yelled for the MTV cameras to be shut off. Gibson filed a complaint with the NYPD on May 11th, claiming the argument jumped off when Diddy and guest judge Michael Bivins lamented over the disappointing performance of the latest group of contestants who are competing for a spot in an all-male band. So this is clearly during the Day 26 recruitment. During the April 25th taping at a branch of New York sports clubs in Greenwich Village, Gibson said she explained to Diddy and Bivins that the contestants had been given only a day to practice in order to see what they could do in a crunch. Gibson said the two men began to yell and curse at her before Bivins allegedly grabbed her again. Mike Bivins? Holy shit. The rabbit hole only leads to more destruction. Before Bivins allegedly grabbed her, and Diddy picked up a chair to threaten her. She said she broke free, tried to run, and Bivins allegedly grabbed her once again. Then she left. Sources close to Diddy denied he grabbed the chair. They also claimed the argument was incited to add drama to the show and that Gibson overreacted. So they completely gaslit her and said, hey, Diddy never grabbed the chair or menaced her with it. I would think a menacing is basically motioning that he might hit her or throw it at her, one of the two. And they claiming, oh, that wasn't even real. They played into this confrontation to add drama to the show, but the recipient of the drama was not in on the motherfucking joke or the storyline. So what the fuck are we talking about? This is Diddy's old attorney, Benjamin Brofman. He said, this is just another example of a false accusation by someone trying to take advantage of Sean's success and celebrity status. So these motherfuckers even accused Laurianne, who we now know is a celebrity. I wouldn't even say celebrity, but, you know, a respected public figure in her own right. They accused her of a false accusation trying to take advantage of success and celebrity status of Diddy to try to make a payday. This is something that y'all been on for years. And she went back. I don't know why. Gibson's lawyer said the case was still under investigation. However, an NYPD spokesman told Whitcomb that Manhattan detectives investigated the allegation, found no wrongdoing, and closed the case. So that just goes to show you she probably stopped cooperating after, you know, so much ensued. And NYPD, just like LAPD, if we're going off of Lil Rod's lawsuit, where he has people that work within the force or have proximity to the force that could get police to basically do nothing. Them niggas did nothing. As for her firing, Gibson's attorney, Peter Tebekis, said her contract is with MTV and Combs does not have the power to give up pink slips. Tebekis also said that the NYPD was trying to get copies of the footage that MTV shot during that dispute. Seems as though they weren't able to retrieve that either. Filming of the show's season finale was caused for delay because of this dispute. She is the inspiration for contestants, and she has worked with Sean Combs for more than 10 years. That's why this was so unexpected. So even at this course of when this happened in 2007, she had already been around approximately 10 years. And he treated her like that in front of new artists trying to get on in the game. I've seen some people that are out there wondering what the hell people like Mary J. Blige or close associates such as Usher and all these people have seen, witnessed, or withheld over the years. I've seen some people also take offense to the fact that anyone would even ask that question of their R&B queen of hip hop. What is it? Queen of hip hop and R&B soul or some shit. Queen of hip hop soul. That shit just had me in a chokehold. But I saw some people that were even offended that people were asking those questions. I don't think you should be offended at all. She's been around this nigga for over 30 years. You think she ain't heard, seen, witnessed, been around for none of this type shit? None? Come on, dog. But that's brother and sister? Man, come the fuck on. But the Day 26 niggas was actually there to witness it? Come on, dog. Like, homeboy been getting away with being a piece of shit for a very long time. The chickens are definitely coming home to roost, and it's KFC out this bitch, man. It just is what it is. Now, getting to the Jonathan Odie thing, we're going to go ahead and play his video, and after that, we're going to get to, what's this lady's name? Cola. We're going to get to her as well. Y'all give me a second here while I get this video up. Cool.
Diddy and Ross, which they're good buddies, okay? They're gay. Who? Both. Diddy and Ross. And Kevin. They're all gay, okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They're all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Kevin is a Hamas supporter. Okay?
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Hamas. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No.
Hamas supporter, okay?
Right.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate, tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Oh, hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you said.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, what?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people. Okay. I'm from Africa, so I'm not a racist. Okay, you're my brother, so I like black people.
Okay.
My mom, I was raised by an African woman in my house. Okay. She was just a servant, but she was she took care of me.
Right.
So I love black people.
Okay.
I had a settlement with Sean. Okay. And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land all the contracts. It's his attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes. Ben Mercedes worked for Bad Boy Entertainment for 4 years and worked for Hillary Rodman for 5. Okay? when I take Sean the threat of death on me, okay? I don't have it, but I can make it available under secrecy. That means that I wouldn't be liable because I don't want to be getting framed for anything, okay? I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with people and stuff, and I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right? I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued for the herpes and won. But they did Mark Grrrls and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible, I threw everything out, it's possible I can produce a copy.
Yeah, sure.
It's possible, I'm not sure. I want you $5 million with Diddy. Okay, was he scared that I was exposed?
I don't want to talk about Diddy right now. I want to talk about you. Help me understand you. I mean, obviously we never met.
I know, they followed me like this. Since because P. Diddy and Mark Grrrls have been trying to set me up and lock me up as an extortionist, asking for money. It was not so. My settlement was breach, and my settlement terms is one was called peaceful enjoyment. That means that if I went to your house or I did something, you'd actually pay me the full amount.
I get all that.
So I've been going through that since like 2012.
All right, so that was Jonathan Odie with his story. Again, this is from 2018. We'll go into a little bit more of his background in just a moment. Well, right now. Shit, fuck it. Let's get to it. All right, so the article in which I got this video from, they said Sean Diddy Combs is facing a plethora of backlash following 4 separate lawsuits filed by 4 women who accused the hip-hop mogul of SA and other heinous crimes. Now, another allegation against Combs has popped up in the form of a 2018 interrogation video of Jonathan Odie, a former male escort who claimed to have been Combs and ex-girlfriend Cassie's sexual, I don't even know what you want to use. We'll just say private sex deliverer. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep it YouTube safe, man, because some of these trigger words out here and they be playing on my head. Odie further claimed that Diddy was also part of the Boule, the black part of the Illuminati. Interesting. Jonathan Odie is infamous for being the Trump National Doral Resort shooter. In 2018, he broke into the resort, allegedly fired at police, and went on a bizarre rant about then-President Donald Trump and Sean Combs. Jonathan Odie is a South African native who became an American citizen in 2017. Odie was a real estate investor and a fitness instructor. He was also the general manager of Pegasus Minerals and Gemstones, LLC. The Miami Herald reported that the South Florida native was married. How he gonna be a native when he ain't from there? Anyway, the Miami Herald reported that the South Florida native was married to a lawyer but got divorced amicably in 2014. However, there was more to Jonathan Odie's life than meets the eye. He was also a stripper and a adult film actor for the South Florida-based website Dancing Bear. Woo, shit. If you don't know, now you know, nigga. The website created and distributed videos of parties that showcased women performing lewd acts with strippers. According to his later testimony, he was also an escort. America first heard of Jonathan Odie in 2018 when he broke into the Trump National Doral Hotel in South Florida, a building owned by former President Trump. An arrest report obtained by the Miami Herald detailed that the man stole an American flag and draped it over the reception desk in the main lobby of the hotel. His antics did not stop there as he swung out a pistola, threatened an unarmed security guard, and began trashing the entire lobby, including paintings, furniture, glass, computers, among other things. Additionally, Jonathan Odie spewed rhetoric against then-President Donald Trump, former President Barack Obama, and bizarrely enough, hip-hop mogul The Diddler. After that, he shot into the ceiling and at police officers present at the scene. Police rushed after him and fired at him, where they hit him in the leg, eventually catching him after he was hospitalized for his wounds. Odie was then sent to the Miami-Dade jail. Since that fateful day, people still wonder where the inclusion of Sean Combs in his rant came from, because it seemed so random. Amidst the various SA allegations against Diddy from his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, and 3 other women, netizens dug up an old interrogation tape of Jonathan that mentioned the hip-hop mogul 3 times. That is the video we just watched. During the interrogation, Jonathan Odie claimed that he had a recurring, sexual relationship with Diddy and then girlfriend Cassie. He mentioned that he had had encounters with the duo 15 times. Okay. And we also know that he said, or maybe you didn't hear it, that he would, jerk his own joystick while Mr. Jonathan would have relations with Cassie, and Diddy would guide him on what he liked to see. Allegedly, I guess we can say, but even Cassie attested to these types of events happening in her lawsuit. Okay. Odie also alleged that all these encounters were filmed and that he had one of those tapes. He also continued to name drop Diddy's attorneys and claimed that Combs was a part of the boule, as stated before. I don't know why they reiterated that. He also alleged that he received a huge sum of money from Diddy to keep this secret. Jonathan Odie's stories corroborate the allegations made by Cassie in her quickly settled lawsuit against Sean Combs. She alleged that Combs would force her to engage in these acts with a plethora of male prostitutes. She also claimed that Diddy handled his own self and filmed all of these encounters. Y'all know what I mean by handled himself. She called these encounters freak-offs, which have now become part of our standard lexicon in the world, and also claimed that Combs had even asked her to pick out the males from websites. So she was forced to pick out her pick of the litter in these situations. Cassie also revealed that these drug-filled events would take place in Combs' home and luxury hotels across the country. Jonathan Odie continued to make a plethora of astonishing claims, such as Diddy using private planes to traffic drugs under the guise of his Ciroc vodka. Now, y'all remember, Diddy just got raided a couple months ago. Not only his homes, but even in the midst of trying to board a flight for a vacation, his drug mule Brendan Paul got caught trying to jump on the private jet with drugs, cocaine, and marijuana candies. Sounds pretty consistent. Mr. Odie also claimed that Rick Ross and DJ Khaled were gay. He also says that Jimi Hendrix was alive in Cuba. Now that is wild, because didn't they say Jimi Hendrix died at like 25, 26, something like that? Now, homeboy is crazy, but there's at least enough information coming from his 2 lips that there is some truth that comes from it. Jimmy, what the fuck, yo? Did you handpick Andre 3K to play you in that movie that the world ain't seen? Once this interrogation video went viral, multiple obituary reports surfaced claiming that Odie had passed away. However, none of those reports mentioned a reliable source, shrouding his current condition in ambiguity. So we don't even know if this man here is alive or gone because the reports aren't coming from reliable sources. Okay? I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I wasn't even prepared for all of that. I thought this article was a lot shorter than it turned out to be. But shit just got real. Now, we also gotta go with Miss Cola Boof here. She came out with a lot. And although her original tweets I was a little bit questionable about, she got some advisement from her legal team and decided to put out a bit more of a concise explanation of her knowledge of Kim Porter and Diddy's relationship, to which she comes out and says, at this point, I'm going to be reading what Miss Cola said. All right. Matter of fact, I may be able to put it up on the screen. Let me see. Because it may not be legible, but I'll test it out first. All right. I may have to cover myself in order for y'all to actually be able to see what I'm talking about. So this is Cola Boof here. She says, when I met Kim Porter at Hollywood charity event, she came over to me because several people were saying that tall girl was Bin Laden's mistress. Kim remembered seeing me interviewed on MSNBC years earlier. She asked me if it was true. I told her yes. We and several other women ended up chatting for most of the event. Kim and I had been fashion models. We talked a lot about that. Later, Kim and two other sisters said they were going to Mr. Chow's for dinner. They invited me. We went in different cars, not together. We ended up going to a different restaurant, Ethiopian restaurant on Highland and Olympic. We had food, drinks, and lots of laughter. Kim Porter and I exchanged numbers because she wanted to audition for a part on a TV show at Sony and knew that I had dated the producer of the show. I offered to talk to him on Kim's behalf. We exchanged numbers. Okay? So that's the first piece. We shall continue. This is part 2. Over the next 2 years, I had several conversations with Kim Porter. The first conversation was about her audition for my ex's show at Sony not being a fit. Kim was going to a famous comedian's house for lunch and invited me. I told her that I detested this particular black comic because of very cruel remarks he made about me during the Bin Laden scandal in 2003. She didn't use any name here, so unfortunately, we can't cross-reference that. Kim Porter and Andre Leon Talley were two of the very few black American people that were sympathetic to the deep trauma I had experienced being kidnapped in Morocco by Bin Laden's men. I was as aid by Somi the first night. I was held against my will at Le Maison Arabe for 6 months. I experienced at Somi's instruction. I've been in therapy for years behind modeling in Morocco. We're going to keep going and try to get this off the screen as quickly as possible because these are very triggering words here and YouTube be tripping. All right. Kim Porter and Andre Leon Talley were sympathetic to what happened to me. I could cry to them. Americans generally made fun of, man. All right, I can't keep this on the screen, y'all. I tried, but this is not an uncensored platform, so we're going to have to move with caution. I'm going to continue reading, though. Okay. Generally made fun of my essay in trafficking in Morocco. Many so-called Bin Laden experts feared losing their careers for not knowing about me, so they attacked me and called me a liar. Bin Laden's family spent money trying to discredit me. Black woman writer Disha Filial viciously accused me of being a quote-unquote fraud and made incredibly hurtful and hateful comments to me that made me feel like unaliving myself. Everyone joked about my name, Boof, being weird. A boof is a melodic war drum. The comedian that Kim wanted to have lunch with and me tag along was a part of those who twisted my story. I guess they asked the question, why would you date a terrorist, as if we have dating in the Arab world, as if women have rights, especially a black woman. When CNN, Fox News, New York Post began calling me Bin Laden's sexual deliverer, and y'all should know, but when I'm saying sexual deliverer, what I mean, servitude, you would think Black Americans would remember Sally Hemings and having compassion for my suffering, but no, it was quote unquote funny. Okay. She continues, in our first few telephone chats, Kim Porter told me to quote unquote let it out. We talked nonstop about every facet of what I went through at La Maisan Arabic with Osama bin Laden and others. She had unalived a man, one of Osama's bodyguards, who was very racist and despised that his boss was sleeping with her and had her put in charge of the compound. The guard, I believe, was going to kill me. It happened at a party. 12 witnesses. She stabbed him. She said she did one day in jail. Somi got me out and took me back to La Maisan Arabic. Kim Porter was fascinated by my story, and we mostly talked about me at first. I told her that Andre Leon Talley and Whitney Houston were the only people who cared about my trauma. Media was cruel to me. Kim Porter was such a kind person. She was like having a sister. She and Nippy, Whitney Houston, had allowed me to vent in our phone conversations about my chronic nightmares, therapy sessions. Whitney always called Osama Dracula, and I found that hilarious and stress relieving. Kim Porter began to tell me things about her relationship with Diddy. She wanted me to understand that she totally related to being quote unquote kept, essayed, beaten, and racially demeaned, as I had been by the Arab men over my hair texture and mahogany coloring. I think that's interesting as well. She's basically alleging that Kim Porter was being racially demeaned by Diddy, as if he was not the same race as her. I'm not saying that that's not the case. I'm just saying that's interesting, and she's not here to tell us that. We did not talk every day or every week. Maybe every 3 weeks we caught up with each other. Sometimes it was just a brief, hey girl, I'm flying to Miami, got lots to tell you about so-and-so. Talk later. Other times we were on the phone for hours. But during these phone calls, Kim Porter told me about her deep love for Diddy, how she wanted to make it work with a black man for our community's public image, and her desire to make it bigger as something, whether that be model, actress, or whatever she could get. Kim told me that she wanted to write a book about her life. Again, we're reading Cola Boof's accounts of her relationship or phone calls and conversations with Kim Porter. For anyone just jumping in now and you think I'm talking about something that somebody told me, no, unfortunately I had to stop showing the excerpts on the screen due to the sensitivity of the content, okay? Just to keep y'all up to date. Kim told me that she wanted to write a book about her life, but she feared writing anything about Diddy. She had spoken to an editor or two in NYC, and they were making it clear publishers can't buy a book from you if you're not going to give us the goods, the dirt. We want the dirt. This put horrible pressure on Kim Porter. I was already a successful television writer under contract to Sony and NBC at the same time. I ghost head wrote the soap opera days of our... Whoa, what? Can anybody corroborate that she really wrote that? I ghost head wrote the soap opera Days of Our Lives and was then moved to The Young and the Restless after the Bin Laden scandal broke and sponsors began demanding that I be fired. So much was going on, it was terrible, but Kim was such a sister for me. She was on my side. Okay, hold on, y'all. Kim invited me to her house in Toluca Lake, but I am known for being lazy and not liking to have my own... What? And not liking to leave my own ranch. They jokingly call me the African Garbo because I don't like attention the way people think I do, so I never did come to Kim's house. I find that interesting. Over the next few months, Kim Porter began writing her life story. She told me about it. I shared with her the details of my experiences with Osama and Al Hassan Turabi, vice president of Sudan, my sugar daddy who also mentored Somi, and Turabi's son, Isam, Somi's best friend and business partner who was also in love with Cola. Just as I told Kim all about this, she told me all about her experiences with Diddy, and it was horrid abuse. This is a lot to keep up with. Hold on. Kim was excited about the book she was writing. She told me she was afraid for Diddy to read it, and then a few weeks later, I saw on the news she was dead. Interesting. I wrote articles attacking Diddy. For instance, there was one I did about him putting out a call for models for his new champagne, and he specified no dark-skinned women, light-skinned or biracial only in the call sheet. Ooh. Y'all gonna get enough of that shit. I wrote about that and other things, but I did not expose Kim's secrets, the things she told me in confidence, because frankly, everyone, even Black Americans, were already calling me a liar. They despised me for being Sudanese, despised me for speaking my mind earlier on colorism and one-drop rule. So who was going to believe me if I spilled Kim's secrets? As Disha Filial said to me, you're just a fraud and a liar. Your birth parents weren't unalived in front of you when you were 6. I was too afraid to completely speak up in my attacks on Diddy. Okay? So she felt that she could not come forth. Cola continues. Yesterday, when I watched the video of Diddy beating and stomping poor Cassie, dragging that poor girl like she was a rag down until she had carpet burns, it enraged me so much that I honestly felt like I heard Kim Porter whisper in my ear, now, Cola, now it's okay, do it now. So here we are. She says Kim Porter was murdered. She did not deserve what happened to her, and I am not the one that you can intimidate and make me back down from a fight. She says, I am an African mother of 2 sons. I am a good daughter of my wonderful adoptive Black American mother. And I am Naima bint Harith as Cola Boof. So I guess that's her birth name, or at least her real name outside of this other name. She says, I am severely damaged, traumatized, embattled, and misunderstood. And I am the most truthful woman that has ever set foot on American soil. Fuck what you heard. Cola Boof is the truth. All right? So that's her full account of what she allegedly heard from Kim Porter and the details of their relationship and phone conversations in which they both basically trauma bonded on being subjected to powerful men and being in a power dynamic that was unhealthy and being subjected to adverse treatment, relationship wise and just in life in general. They shared commonalities, allegedly. I can only say allegedly because I don't know Miss Cola Boof in terms of her career, her life, her story. Her coming out the other day was the first time I personally had ever heard of her. So I can't just come to the net and say this is for sure true. And I also cannot say this is for sure a farce. All I can say is these are her words, and that is what she allegedly spoke to Kim about, which seems to be, at least in part, backed up by theories from one Kimora Lee Simmons, who was really Kim Porter's best friend. So there we have that. Now, before we go, I am going to play one video by someone that's clearly not loved on my channel, Rapper The Game. And he has an interview with another person whom I don't fuck with, DJ Vlad, where he spoke briefly about Drake allegedly having an issue with Diddy, which we know for sure him and Diddy were not on the best of terms. 2016, 17, whatever the year that was, 0 to 100 came out. Diddy allegedly slapped or punched this nigga in the face over that beat. But Game says there was a point in time where Drake was in LA and there was some gangsters that on Diddy's behalf were trying to get clearance to find a location on him and put his ass in grass. Now, this is rapper The Game. He's known to stretch the truth, fabricate stories, or all out lie. So we're going to take this with a grain of salt, but there is a possibility that this really took place. And at this point, I mean, anything somebody could really say about Diddy, it's damn near believable. I hate to say it, but I don't. All right, so let's pull this up and then I'm going to take y'all out. Matter of fact, I don't think I should play the actual video of this because that nigga Vlad might claim this shit. So let me just play the audio from it just to be all the way safe, all the way kosher. You feel me? Because that motherfucker there, love him or hate him, he about his business. All right, so let's just play audio.
And sometimes not responding is a response.
Well, you talked about how you found out that they're trying to set up Drake in LA at one point. What exactly was that about?
That was about like him and Diddy were beefing, right? They had a little beef over something in Miami outside of Live.
I think Diddy allegedly assaulted him or something. It was over the Start from the Bottom beat, where I guess it's supposed to go to Diddy and Drake took it and
0 to 100, not started from the bottom.
Something silly like that.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about Started from the Bottom, I don't know what Diddy would have did with that beat.
I know.
It's like a Drake beat. But there were like calls, going around LA, and it was like, Drake here, Drake there, who will run up on him. I'm not saying it, it didn't come from Diddy directly, but LA get tricky. So, when there are beefs and they are here, no matter who it is, like there's certain people that are gonna get called, and I'm one of those people. So, I had privy, Drake to a little information. Like I said, I don't know where it came from, but I always, it's like my brother. So I hit him. I told him like, yo, this is what it is, but I got you. We over here. And I'm pretty heavy. So, we straight.
All right. So that's Game recalling a story of Drake, again, having some LA gang hitters on his head. People was making calls. Game ended up receiving one of those calls, and he told Drake, hey man, you could come over here to seek refuge. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you as long as you with me. We gonna get you up out of here alive, my G. Okay? Now, y'all heard it yourself. Although Game did not want to point fingers, he did say this was during their beef. So clearly it would have to be connected in my estimation, but hey, don't take my word for it. All right. At this point, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to, as it pertains to this subject. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider, where we talk about all things industry, music industry, entertainment. And, I genuinely appreciate y'all rocking with me through this whole anthology, through this whole thing going on with Diddy. I know it's very triggering. It's a very horrific situation. It's fucking disgusting. There's so much more to be revealed in terms of this lawsuit that he's dealing with from Lil Rod and these multiple lawsuits he's got with Lil Rod, Miss what's the lady's name? Miss Dickerson and the other Jane Does. He's got a lot on his motherfucking plate, and he damn sure can't digest it all. But we're gonna keep in tune, because this motherfucker should be on the highway to hell speeding in 100 right now. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments again, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Much love and respect. Y'all be safe out there. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming, I swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda, we hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest, but drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries, stand for my honor. But too raw, no corner, packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.